Hey, good people. We got Wonder Woman and Superwoman and everyone, every other woman superhero showing up on scene for this one. This is great. Now look, I'm gonna crack on these people on the good and the bad, and so there's some good here, but there's some bad and negative consequences that can come out of this. So, I mean, I know my normal viewers and the people who are kind of savvy and kind of know how to use their critical eye and look at things are going to see what I'm saying, but there's some really important lessons here, and these women are lucky. And Rick, they're not lucky. They're strong, powerful women that are just as strong as men, and how dare you say they're lucky? Well, I'm saying it. They're lucky. Okay, so let's take a look at this here. Now, when you're walking and you need to have a spatial awareness, or you're just understanding that what's around you and who's following you and who's with you. When I'm walking along cars like this, I'm always looking in car windows. And people may think I'm looking at myself in a reflection, or I'm looking inside people's cars. What I'm really doing when I look at windows when I'm walking is I look for reflections behind me to see if somebody's behind me without letting them know that I'm looking. So cars are great mirrors of your environment, so you can use that to be aware, for situational awareness. And so when I'm walking, I'm always looking at glasses on buildings, seeing who's walking behind me. I'm looking at glasses on cars, see who's behind me. I may stop and scratch my head. I may stop and bend down to tie my shoe if I think somebody's behind me, to let them pass me or to let me get close. So being aware would have prevented this. She would have known this guy was stalking her, and she didn't. Why? Because she's clueless. She's in La La Land. She's in, I'm safe. I'm in my environment. I am woman. I have superpowers, and nobody can hurt me because the government will protect me. So with that mindset, she made herself a victim. This guy should not have got her purse or got away with this had she been paying attention. Rick, why are you picking on the victim? It's not her fault. It is not her fault. It is his fault. But she could have prevented this, and she could have done better. And that's how you learn. You don't run around the freaking world like liberals saying, you can't talk about a woman because she's perfect, and you're sexist, and you're mean, and you hate women, and it's the mean man's fault, and everything's the man's fault. And government will protect her. Well, that's why you become a victim. So he's closing in on her. She should totally be aware. Ain't no way somebody's getting that close to me without me knowing, just feeling that person behind me. So now he's walking up behind her here, and they get in a little tussle. And she's going into wigs. I don't know. Maybe it's a hairstyling place. Whatever. So she gets in this little tussle right here, and she tries to hang on to her purse. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Look, I like people who aren't victims, and I don't think you ought to give up without a fight. But sometimes you got to cut your losses. This guy luckily wasn't armed and didn't have a knife. If he grabbed her purse and had a knife in one hand, and knife crime is going up, people, I'm telling you. The more they try to control guns, it's easier to carry a knife. The more people will use knives. They're just as deadly. You can do just as much damage. You can carry them everywhere. You can stab very quickly. I've got several knife videos about knife crime, and I'm telling you, knife crime is on the rise, and if you think fighting a guy who could very easily have a knife in his hand is a good idea, it's not. I don't buy it. Okay, so we kind of, this woman is a superwoman. Let me go back down here. I was trying to blow this up to kind of keep my side panel from popping up, but so here comes Superwoman. Let me go back here a little bit. We'll show her flying to the rescue. Dun da da, dun da 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 da. Look, I like this girl. She ain't putting up with no BS. She came from a long way at a full run to attack this dude because she saw two women fighting with this dude. So, women power, women sticking together, not being a victim. Dude, I'm praising it. Don't come here hating on me that I'm picking on these women. I'm just telling you that just because there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, and just because you can run in and maybe push this dude or try the pinky toe takedown, none of these women are armed. None of them are able to defend themselves other than their strength, which is normally weaker than a man. Rick, you can't say that. You're a sex. Whatever, I'm telling you, okay? Most guys can get away and take on 3 women with no problem. Rick, I know a woman who can bench 400. Whatever. Keep living a lie, you idiots who are preaching this. You've been brainwashed by the liberal left, and that's how women are getting hurt, because they're going around thinking they can do anything a man can do, and then when they can't, they end up either dead or hurt. And the liberal left isn't running around saying, see, look at this poor woman. She got her butt beat by this dude because she thought she was equal. So, think about that when you jump into action. Now, again, 3 women, the odds are better. If there's no weapon, I don't know if these women evaluated him to see if he had a weapon. I don't know if these women even thought, you know what? Is this person armed? Am I helping the woman, or am I going after her purse and trying to take on a guy that I really have 0 to none chance of defeating? Rick, they could be a black belt and have superpowers and can fly in an invisible jet. Yeah. If and buts and coconuts. So, they show in slow motion, he rips the purse. This woman that came out of the store is on him. Now, if you're going to go after a guy for a crime like this, and this crime right here is called strong arm robbery. Robbery is the taking of personal property by force or fear. Okay? You have to use force or fear in order for it to be robbery. He's using force because she fought him and they grappled. If she had not used any force and he just snatched it and ran off, they would not charge robbery. Even though I think he used force by grabbing off her arm, force in the legal system is normally prosecuted if the person resisted and fought for her property and he took it in a wrestling match by force, which he did. So this is clearly what's called strong arm robbery. Armed robbery would be if he was armed with a knife or weapon or gun. So it's not armed robbery, but it's strong arm robbery. It's still a felony, and it's still considered a higher class of robbery. So she loses her purse. This woman gets on him and starts fighting him. If we're really concerned about getting this guy, this woman is absolutely entitled to use force. Is she entitled to use deadly force? That's iffy. Remember, deadly force, you have to be in fear of seriously bodily injury and or death. Are these women, or can they prove they're in fear of seriously bodily injury? I don't think so. Why? Because they're not running away and they're not trying to get away. They are rushing and attacking. And in a court system, that's going to be played off to the jury as, how can you say you were scared when you were actually chasing and running after the person that you claim to be fearful of? So they lose their right to say they were fearful. Does that mean they can't use force? No. They can use reasonable force to stop a crime. Can she scratch him? If she says, I intentionally tried to poke his eye out, she would probably be deemed the aggressor, because he isn't intentionally trying to cause seriously bodily harm. He's trying to commit a property crime even though he's using force. And that's where the law and people lose. You know, if you haven't prosecuted a bunch of these or been in court and defended and taken a lot of these reports and seeing how it plays out in court, it really gets iffy when the legal system starts playing games. Now, to me, it should be cut and dry. The guy's a criminal. He's committing a crime. All gloves come off. These women can do anything they want to this guy, up to killing him, and I'm okay with it. But that's me. I don't make the laws. The law is you have to use deadly force or force if you're in fear of your life. If you're in fear, you're not chasing people. You are running from them. You are trying to get away. You think you have no other choice, especially in liberal cities. They word it to where you have to retreat. You literally have to run away, and if you don't run away, you committing a crime. In California, these women are committing a crime. They are not submitting to being a victim. They are not letting the guy take their purse and then just calling government to come and draw the chalk line or to take their report. They are not doing that. Therefore, they are in violation of California law. You cannot resist. England, UK, same thing. If you resist or fight the guy, you can get charged with assault. So that's how liberals turn societies into sheep and victims, and how they empower crooks. So are they doing something smart here? Now, if she grabs him and gets some DNA under her hand, I don't even know if they would run the DNA, because this will be considered a low-level property crime where nobody was hurt. Now, if he pulls away and this woman trips and falls and bangs her head because she has no balance and she has no business fighting with a guy, now the crime becomes worse and more severe. If she bangs her head and goes in a coma and could possibly die, now they will test the DNA under her fingers. And I know people who think, Rick, you're being stupid. You know, you're kind of trying to I'm trying to explain to you how the law works. And this is exactly how people get hurt and how people have no defense. This guy gets away with the property. If she scratches him and has DNA and it gets infected and he ends up dying or have to go to the hospital and then they catch him, she could be charged with assault. She is attacking. But Rick, he committed the crime and he is trying to run away. He is going to play in our liberal courts. When you vote liberalism, this is what you get. Our liberal courts, liberal judges, liberal DAs will all say this guy is the poor victim. He was trying to get away. Yes, he took her purse. He was starving, hungry, and needed food, and he took her purse, and there was no reason for this woman to scratch him and cause an infection that almost killed him just over a simple property crime. People think I'm being crazy, but I'm telling you, I've seen this play out. I've heard this argument numerous times in California, in courts, in defense attorneys, in judges' chambers. This is how it's played out. I don't agree with it. I'm going to have people coming here hating me, saying, how dare you not defend these poor women? I'm not defending anybody. I'm trying to point out how the system plays out. This woman is chasing and grabbing him and is the primary aggressor. I don't personally have a problem with it. The liberal courts absolutely have a problem with it. He's running. Look at him, the poor victim. The poor man is trying to get away. He's just trying to get some food, and he's being attacked by this mean, vicious woman. And this woman is yelling words at him, making him. And this woman is running after him to also join in the attack. These are 3 or more people conspiring to attack somebody, which is technically a gang crime. But anyway, I digress. I don't believe in this. I think it's all BS. But I'm telling you, that is how the liberal courts see things. He's trying to get away. This woman continues her violent assault and chase to the poor man who was just trying to make a living. So let's kind of watch it again in real time here. And you can kind of see what's going on. He gets closer. Nice different view. She's not aware. She stops. She's digging in her purse. Totally unaware. I call this clueless in my own world. I am woman. I am powerful. Nothing can happen to me. That's how you set somebody up to fail. I have to say color. This is white on white crime. Because if it was black on black crime, I'd point it out. And the media will not point it out. They may. It's hard to tell. The media will play this as the sexist, poor women, mean white man angle. Here comes Superwoman. She got a good stride, man. You go, girl. Yeah. Yeah. That's really good. Everybody's probably cheering them on right now. Look at her chasing them. Look at these strong women. If he pulls out a knife or a gun, what are you going to do? What are these women going to do if he turns around and slices her throat? And now she has to, breathe through her throat for the rest of her life. What if he stabs her in the face and now she has a huge scar on her face for the rest of her life because she was Wonder Woman? Rick, are you trying to say that women shouldn't defend themselves? No, I'm not. I'm trying to say that you need to be aware. If these women had a gun and could defend themselves if he pulled a weapon, if they were chasing him with a gun in hand, telling him to get on the ground till the cops come, I'd be okay with that. They're chasing a man They're unarmed and they do not know if he's armed. And that's not smart. And that can get you hurt. And did they really prevent or stop anything? This guy is faster and stronger. He broke away. He got the purse. I think that might be his jacket there. Cops will be drawing a chalk line around that. Ooh, call out the chalk police. We got to chalk off this evidence. So they won't even collect that. They don't care about that. They'll stick it in a bag somewhere. You think they're going to do DNA off this to try and locate a guy who snagged a purse? This is California. I think it's happening in Redding. They ain't going to do nothing. This guy ain't going to get caught unless somebody calls in and says, I recognize the guy, and here's his name. That's the only way this guy's getting caught. Or if he's too stupid and he runs over to an ATM after he gets a card, tries to do a withdrawal, and it gets a picture of him. But anyway, good little video. Did the women not be victims and fight back? Yes. Is that a good thing? Do we need to be a victim society to where we just give in? No. But are they going to be protected by the law? No. Is government going to protect them or pay their medical bills? No. Is government going to make it easy for them to be the victim if this guy hurts them? No, they're not. They are chasing a guy, and they have lost the ability to say, I was in fear of my life. Now, cops can chase people, and it's different because they're chasing them under government authority and they're using force. They're trying to make a felony arrest. They've got all these protections. Civilians do not have protections, especially in liberal states. They have much less protections because liberal states want you to be a victim, so you have to depend on government, so we can justify more taxes for more police and more government because we have more victims. That's what liberalism wants. I don't understand how women and black people who are crimes and minority and gangs and in the hood, how they can, in their high crime areas, how they can support the liberal agenda, because it goes against their very own survival and safety. But you can't tell a liberal that, man. They'll just, oh no, it's a mean white Republican. They're the problem. Okay. All right, we'll end that there, I guess.